Rogan has once again stirred up the MMA world. This time, he's calling out the heavyweight division, and not in a nice way. Joe said he's tired of seeing out-of-shape heavyweights walking into the octagon. He wants to bring back the days when fighters looked like monsters. According to him, guys like Alistair Overeem were built like superheroes before USADA stepped in with drug testing. He didn't hold back at all. Joe literally said that when USADA came into the UFC, everything changed. Fighters' physiques started to melt away. He gave Overeem as the best example of this change. Joe remembers when Alistair Overeem fought Brock Lesnar. The man was an absolute beast. Huge, shredded, 260 pounds of pure destruction. Joe called him Uber Overeem back then because he was just that insane. But once they made Overeem take the drug test, Joe said he turned into a normal guy again. No more scary destroyer, just a good fighter. Joe kept wondering how crazy it would have been if Overeem had stayed on the sauce. My God, it would have been epic, he said. He even shouted, "Get the F out of here," about fat heavyweights. Joe wants Overeem-style chaos back in the cage. Tom Aspinall also spoke recently, but his focus was totally different. He explained why he thinks MMA is way safer than boxing.
I don't actually watch it because I think it's quite violent.
Right.
But the bit that gets me is when you can see they're already knocked out and you just still hitting them. And I understand it's your job, but I think, nah, I can't watch that.
I would debate it's well safer than boxing.
Really?
Yeah. You got a glove and you got a big padding on the glove, right? With boxing. You hit someone, you can cuss them, they give them 10 seconds, then you let them go again, hit them again. So it's 36 minutes a boxing fight.
Right.
That can happen 10 times in 36 minutes. In MMA, you hit them once, they hit the floor, you hit them again, or once or twice, the ref will stop it. What you got to remember about boxing is they've all had like 50 plus amateur fights.
Yeah.
Some of them have had hundreds of amateur fights, so this has happened for years and years and years. Then they do the pro fights and it happens again and again and again.
Yeah.
And I just think that even though MMA looks a little bit more brutal sometimes, you put elbows in and kicks and stuff like that, I'm not disputing it's a dangerous sport because it is, but I think it's safer than...
Yeah, now that you said that, I actually do agree to
I think with big guys, you'll hit them once, rattle the brain, the ref will stop it generally, or they might let you carry on a little bit.
Is this MMA or boxing?
Both.
Okay, yeah.
The smaller guys, they don't have that one punch power, so they'll just continue to hit almost concussively for 36 minutes. And I think that over the long term,
there's more damage.
I'm not saying that MMA is not dangerous, but I'm saying that boxing is
more dangerous.
I don't know if it's more dangerous, but I think that a lot of people see the big gloves and see just the punches and they think that's a lot less.
I think of that.
Meanwhile, Matthias Gamrot dropped some behind-the-scenes footage online. He shared a video of Dustin Poirier sparring as Dustin gets ready for his upcoming fight. Dustin's training hard for his showdown with Max Holloway. They're gonna battle it out for the BMF title at UFC 318. Then there's Alexander Volkov, who didn't hold back either. He straight up said that if John Jones wasn't in the picture, he could have already had a shot at the heavyweight title. Volkov is clearly frustrated. He's tired of waiting around. He said the delays in the John Jones versus Tom Aspinall fight are messing everything up for the rest of the division. He thinks his window for becoming champion is closing. In other weight classes, there's always something happening, he said, but not here. I've missed my chance because of John Jones. Volkov says he does get it. John Jones is a big name and UFC treats him like a king. They let him do whatever he wants. Volkov said it's not just John's fault, it's also how UFC gives him too much freedom, and because of that, everyone else has to just wait. Khalil Roundtree also opened up recently. He talked about what went wrong in his last fight, the one where he lost to Alex Pereira. At UFC 307, he was stopped in the 4th round, and it clearly hit him hard. He's currently preparing to fight Jamahal Hill at UFC Buku on June 21st, and he's making some serious changes. Khalil said after that loss, he sat down with his wife and they broke down everything, every moment of the fight. Even though he trained hard and gave it his all, he knows there was still room to improve. He said he wished he had someone in his corner to tell him when Alex was hurt, those moments where he could have gone in and finished the fight. And grappling? That's now a huge focus. Khalil knows that if he wants to be champion, he has to become a more well-rounded fighter. He doesn't want any weaknesses, he wants to evolve and be the best version of himself before anyone comes to take that belt from him. And now things are heating up even more. Kamaru Usman is stepping back into the cage. He's set to face Joaquin Buckley at UFC Atlanta on June 14th. But that's not all. Belal Muhammad says if Usman wins, he's going to be the next one standing in front of him.
He gets his W, making sure that he's good. And then, all right, now we see what's next. Obviously, when I'm looking at the division, I'm looking at the landscape of the division. When I think of who it could be, obviously jumps out to the table. If Kamaru wins, I feel like it'll be Kamaru. If he beats Buckley, gets past Buckley. You got Ian Gary, you got Brady, and then even if Buckley wins, at the end of the day, I think it's whoever gonna get this. If they do, which I'm assuming Jack and Islam, whoever's next is gonna have to win one. So I think it all comes down to how they match everybody up and put it in there. But I think whoever's gonna get next is gonna have to win one more regardless. And me, I'm gonna make a statement and I'm gonna put it out there, and that I'm gonna get it. So there's not gonna be no guessing. I felt the best I ever felt. I felt the strongest I ever felt. It was a great camp, great things. And like I said, I feel like I'm still improving every single fight. I'm still getting better every single fight. And I still have that hunger and desire to keep achieving greatness. There's nothing in me that's like, I'm done now, or I'm sad now, or all right, let's just see what YouTubers are out there. Nah, man, I'm still chasing the legacy. I'm still chasing the dream. I'm still chasing GSP. GSP lost the belt and he gained it back. So for my mentality, we're still here. And I don't care how old they are or how old they think I am. Go in there and beat me. And there's not a lot of guys that are going to be able to do that.
There's also some juicy drama that fans haven't even seen yet. Henry Cejudo spilled the tea about a heated confrontation between Kamaru Usman and Belal. Apparently got physical, and the footage is being held for a later episode of their podcast. Yes, they're planning to release it.
I was actually kind of happy that, Kamaru was like, yeah, bring him on, because you wouldn't want to do a podcast with somebody that has your belt, especially feel that way, especially when the has been thrown. I feel like with a guy like Belal, he was doing a lot of with Kamaru. He did that whole song, with that whole country song. I don't know if you guys saw that, that Belal did on Kamaru. It was actually kind of funny, dude. I ended up sending it to him, but he didn't like it. So I think, the jabs kind of started being thrown around. So there was already drama coming in. So once they came in, and then I was kind of like the mediator there, hey, what's up, Belal? What do you think of Kamaru? Kamaru, what do you think of Belal? And then just started kind of escalating, because I'll be honest with you, man, probably Kamaru started it, but I could see why. You know what I'm saying? So then all of a sudden, I think Kamaru said it's on site, and then Belal said, well, it's on site. What's up? And then Kamaru gets up, and then you guys gotta wait till we release the tape. So legit, there's a scuffle there, dude. I was in the middle. I had a sprained ankle. I was trying to like the whole production crew, everybody kind of started coming in. They had to take both of them. There was about a good maybe 8 people there. And like 4 was trying to get on Belal, and then but the hands were thrown.
Was Ali there?
Slaps were given.
Was Ali there? The manager?
Now let's talk about Daniel Cormier. DC saw the footage of Nate Diaz getting into yet another street fight, this time on the Alf Reality show. And Daniel didn't sound happy about it at all. He was shocked. He pointed out that Nate Diaz is 40 now with a family. It's not cool anymore, DC said. You can't just be out there fighting people in the streets like it's 2009.
And it's like at some point, right? This is just me. Yeah, he's 40 years old. At some point, guys, you can't be fighting in the street. When is it not cool to be the tough guy anymore? At 40 years old. We've seen some pictures of Nate, beautiful family, beautiful house, kids, wife. We know now that while that side of him is a side of him, we also know that Nate Diaz lives a beautiful life with a beautiful family, in security, and all these other things. When is it not cool to be the guy that fights in the street anymore? Or carry yourself in that way like you fight in the street anymore? right? At 40. They used to make like these jokes from all the way back to like Varsity Blues and all those games of the guy that would show up with the Letterman's jacket. With the Letterman's jacket, that was the quarterback back in the day that still kind of shows up to the party. It's like, we can't go to the party no more. I don't go out anywhere. I don't do, and even at 41 years old when I fought my last fight, I wasn't out doing the same things I did that when I was in my 20s. In his 20s, walking around like that was cool. But at 40, it just serves no purpose to me. It just serves no purpose.
And just when you think things couldn't get more chaotic, they did. Jorge Masvidal posted shocking footage to his Instagram story showing blood on the floor after a wild brawl on the Alf Reality show. It looked like another brutal physical altercation happened during filming, and Jorge didn't hesitate to share the aftermath with his fans.
Murder scene just happened. I love my Russians, man. I love this. Oh man, number action! Woo. My boys are getting after it, man. Let's go, huh?
And that wraps up all the madness for today's UFC news. From steroid debates to bloody floors and secret fights, the MMA world is anything but quiet. Stay tuned because the drama's only getting louder.